What's up, gamers? Perfect Dark is back. I absolutely loved the original game. It is probably my most played Nintendo 64 game of all time. And in my excitement for this trailer, I just thought, man, I have to make a video, go over some of the things that we see here, some of the hints that we see at the story and the gameplay and how it plays homage to the original game, because I am so excited. But before we get into that, if you enjoy the content, please consider liking, subscribing, sharing this video with a friend, and maybe even becoming a channel member. It doesn't just help the channel, it helps my family, and I appreciate your support. But without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, there are so many cool things in this trailer that I can't wait. I'm going to be pausing a lot, probably, but here we go. In-game footage and cinematics, so we get a mixture of both here. Alright, so the first thing you see is that they're saying stop Carrington's attack, that he has some kind of nuclear weapon, and then you see Joanna Dark jump out of this airplane with a jetpack and a wingsuit. So cool. Comes out of a sandstorm and into a city, and we get to look at this city. It looks like it's in the middle of a desert. There's this oasis with all this greenery and vegetation and this big city and buildings. And I think that's really going to play a part in this story. She thinks it's going to be like any other mission, but it's not. And here we get our first little look at Datadyne. She's booting up some kind of HUD. Maybe she has some contact lenses. Of course, this is set in the future, so it'd be cool if she has like contact lenses that showed her her targets and stuff. But it's Datadyne. Datadyne is running this. And if you played the original game, you know that she worked for Carrington and Datadyne were the bad guys. And so I think we see that play out in this trailer, and we're going to get to that. But also want to point out the billboard type thing in the top right corner where it says Eden Summit. Eden in the Bible is a garden, like this perfect place. And again, I think that's going to be a major part of this story. It also says Cairo up there in the top. I don't know if this is supposed to be somewhere in Egypt or what, but very cool setting. And you see that it looks like everybody is prosperous. They are at peace. Very peaceful city. It's just a pleasant 23 degrees all day long. And then we start to get a picture of her HUD. Just look at the vegetation, how the vegetation moves right here. She's using her spy gadgets. Oh, in the first game, you had spy gadgets. If you picked one of the harder difficulty levels, you had to use those to complete certain objectives, and it was really cool. But this is bringing back all of that, it looks like. So she's analyzing someone's voice. And actually, let me move myself to the other corner because I think you'll be able to see everything better. Maybe I can even flip. There we go. It still looks like I'm watching this. So you can see right there in the bottom left corner, she has different like spy abilities. So she's using the voice analysis tool right now, and there's different tools down there, and it shows a battery indicator, it looks like, for your device. All this is awesome. We're going to see her use that little chess piece thing here in a second. Right there, she's using that to manipulate the computer to distract this guard. So he goes over to the computer. Now she's going to sneak past. Very cool stuff. Very like almost Splinter Cell-esque. So I'm liking the stealth component here a lot. And then she's going to move into this parkour scene. And I do want to point out that she's jumping. I think this is so hilarious because people always are like joking and upset that when you have to climb something in a game, it's usually marked with yellow paint, and these pipes are marked with yellow paint. It's so hilarious. Diving, wall running, jumping across, and then she pulls out the gun. And I do wonder, it doesn't say what it is. In the original game, you had the Falcon 2, and I wonder if this is the Falcon 1, because it seems like this is going to take place earlier. Actually, it seems like this might just be a reboot of the franchise altogether. I don't think they've said yet, but just from how this plays out story-wise, it kind of seems like it might be that. She's calling out for Carrington, the alarm goes off, she slides under the door, and then, okay, let's stop right here for a second because I want to read some of this real quick. We've got some newspaper clippings. The thing at the top says a short meditation on a world lost. So either this world is changing or they know about some kind of alien world that's been lost, but it's probably just that this world is changing. We see Eden Tech Summit to be held at the Orchid, which I'm assuming is a place in this city. That would make sense since it's Garden City. Core Mantis rumored to expand Gen Network within year. And Core Mantis is something that we're going to see pop up several times in this trailer. and I think it's what we see at the end. It says at the bottom, Core Mantis will share center stage with some of the largest hypercorps this year. So there's some kind of big gathering of tech CEOs and stuff at the Orchid in this city, and I think Datadyne is telling Joanna that Carrington is going to attack at this summit, at this conference. In the top left, real quick, the Core Mantis has been hinting for quite some time about a potential expansion of the network. The Hypercorp has been careful not to promise anything yet. New leaks suggest expansion may be imminent. Rumors of an ecotech startup digging out in the it's hard to read, remains of Giza circulated amongst local media long before the network came online. So she's in Carrington's like hideout office and she's reading all these things that he's put together. It seems like to me that Datadyne is up to no good again, but Datadyne has sent her to take out Carrington because he's about to expose them. That's what it looks like. But back to the motion here. So she's coming up to his desk, and then she starts to hear his voice. He hacks into her system, and then she gets attacked. And that's what's interesting. I don't know who is attacking her. Is it Datadyne, or is it someone else? But here's the first look at combat, and man, oh man, is it a first look. Let's go back to that. So they come in, guns ablazing, throw the grenade. And then when she comes out of her daze, he's right there, and it goes into this thing where she has to block and take this guy down. So I think there's going to be quite a significant amount of hand-to-hand combat in this game, which is super cool. So she takes him down with that leg sweep, and here's where I have to move myself back over to the other side again because we have to be able to see that lower right corner. So one of the best things about the original game was that every weapon had two functions, two different ways of taking out your opponent. Like the Phoenix had those blaster bolts, but then they could turn into explosive bullets. The Super Dragon was a machine gun, but then you could turn it into a grenade launcher. The laptop gun could become a machine gun or a sentry gun. Every weapon had two things, and that's what we see here. And I love it so much. So right in the bottom right corner, you'll notice that there are two circles that have little bullet icons in them. One of them is for stun, and one of them is for normal bullets. So one more time, sweep the leg, stun this guy, electricity looks awesome, and then take out this guy. You can see that she switched that round circle there. And then she's going into a bullet time thing and sliding through. Oh man, oh my gosh, shoots through the wall it looks like. Which again, I don't know if she really shot through the wall or if it just looks that way. But in the original game, there was the Farsight XR20, and you could see enemies through walls and take them out. So cool. The game was so ahead of its time on the N64. I want to see that part again, though. So, oh, right there. Bullet time. Yeah, the oranges, or whatever this is on the table, the oranges are moving. So like the way that things are destructible, like the way that that guy just went through the railing on that balcony, the way that you see the oranges move, and the wall's going to crumble right there, and the smoke that comes out of that thing, like you can interact with the environment, and that is awesome. And of course, there was a fair amount of that in the original game. I mean, there were a lot of things that you could destroy. So this is where I'm a little curious about how this works. I don't think that this is cinematic. I think that this is gameplay, but she sees these three guys. There's no way to do this. I love like taking him down with the leg. That is so awesome. And look at the grass. How many blades of grass there are there, and the oranges that have spilt out into the yard. I love that. But she takes him down and then so quickly moves to these two guys and then shatters his helmet. That is awesome. But you can't do this with a controller. I don't even think you could do this with mouse and keyboard. With this type of precision, watch this. Bam, bam. That's so fast. So I don't know if somehow there's like a target system where she's like, okay, I'm going to target these three guys and run up and take them down really quick. But that one part right there, I'm very confused about. And then she gets hacked again by Carrington, and it switches over to this. This guy's saying, "How do you see that?" And I think that these are Carrington's men. This is a video file, and that is the Core Mantis. And we see all this stuff growing sort of out from it. And I don't know if these are scientists or what, but to me, it looks like they're under the city trying to figure this thing out, and then something happens. And that is what Carrington's worried about. And I think that is why he wants Joanna on his team. He does say when she's in his little headquarters with the computers that he's been looking for someone like her. So I absolutely think that even though it's a little confusing, I think that she is working for Datadyne, doesn't know the truth. Carrington exposes her to the truth, and then she's going to switch sides and begin to help Carrington. But this combat, I mean, it looks amazing. Look at that grass. Oh my goodness. So I think there's a lot to be excited about here. And honestly, I can't wait. I mean, it's been so long since we've had Perfect Dark, and what we saw looks so polished already. I wish they had said it was coming this year. I'm concerned they didn't even say it was coming 2025, which makes me think it's probably 2026. And man, that seems like such a long way away. But I don't know. What do you think? Are you excited about the return of Perfect Dark? Is there anything you caught that I missed that references the original? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Stay kind and encouraging out there, and I'll catch you on the flippity flip.